Hello, my name is Matthew Perkins, and today I'd like to talk about Dungeons & Dragons. That's right, both of them. So in my personal life, I'm a precog. That means I know the future. I know everything that has happened and everything that will happen. And that means there's a lot of personal responsibility for me to preserve our imperfect timeline. And part of that is tracking initiative, because I want to know when the players are going to go, when the monsters are going to go, and I need to keep everything in its proper order. So in that interest, I have created these initiative trackers. Now these are little things that kind of slip over your DM screen so everyone can see them. So ideally you'd have, one for each of your party and one for each monster, and they'd line up on your DM screen so that you can just track it left to right or right to left, whichever side you're sitting on, and know who goes when. So this is the front. I'm just going to bring this forward and see if it still focuses. So this image, by the way, is drawn by Namely, and she's a lovely human, and she draws lovely pictures. So I'll link to her and go check her out, give her a follow. But anyway, this is the front of the initiative tracker. This is what the players would see. This is just a portrait, a pretty little picture of your pretty little person, and it's got a name up there as well. This time I've just called it Rogue because it's just a generic, but whatever, you can put your name up there. And on the back, what the DM sees, you've got space for your armor class, spell save, passive insight, and passive perception. On this drive-through RPG page, there's a PDF that's form fillable, and it has 5 of these character sheets of these initiative trackers all in a row, so you can print them out on a single page, double-sided, cut them out, fold them up, do what you want to do with them. The only tricky thing about importing your own portrait onto this is that you need to make sure you've done these 3 things. You need to open this document in Adobe Reader. You need to, when you click on the blank space where the portrait goes, you need to make sure that you're going to import a JPEG. So make sure your portrait is a JPEG.jpg. And you also want to make sure the image is cropped to be a perfect square. Any dimensions are really fine. There's suggested dimensions on there. But as long as it's a perfect square, you'll be all hunky-dory. There's also one that has monsters on there, but there's no insertable image for the monster portraits. It's just a colored D20. And that's just so that you can say, well, in this combat, the green will be the genies and the red will be the rogues for the genie rogue plotline that we're running. These things have seen a few downloads so far, and one guy picked it up named DM Dango, your boy DM Dango, in fact, and he had some things to say about this particular initiative tracker in his initiative tracker video. I encourage you to go give DM Dango a follow. He's a lovely chap. Let's just see what he said.
Finally, we have this one. Now, this is the one I use in my home game, and in fact, this is one of the characters from my home game, Hawthorne. I think in terms of what I get the best out of this is I'm a very visual learner, so it helps me to have this picture here to say, this is who this character is, this is what they look like, this is what race they are. And it just helps me, not as a DM, but it helps me as a player to kind of make that correlation. I also like the fact that on the backside for DMs, this has everything a DM needs and has to ask a player for. Because it always slows down combat when a DM has to say, what do I need to save against? What's your spell save DC? Tell me now, please. Or what's your passive perception? Or what's your armor class? This is everything that a DM is rolling against. And what I did is I took 2 pieces of cardstock and glued them together to kind of give them enough rigidity. But as you can see from this one, there's quite a lot of points where I've not done it very well. And lining up, it was a little tricky. If I did them again, I would probably do a better job, but that's something to bear in mind.
Hey now, your boy DM Dango said some nice things there. He completely got what I was trying to do. All the things he said mirrored my intentions when designing it. So that's great. Thank you so much for reviewing my work. Now, he had a little bit of trouble assembling it though. He had 2 bits of paper and he printed it out single-sided and then kind of glued them together and cut them out from that. And it got kind of like crinkly. So here's my tips for how to assemble it. Step uno. That's 1. That's Japanese for 1. So you want to print it out double-sided. So it's not going to be 2 sheets of paper. It's going to be 1 piece of paper printed on both sides. Step dos, which is French for 2. You want to get it laminated. And you'd think when you laminate something and cut it out that it'll just fall apart. Not true. It sticks together for a while. The things that I laminate and cut out, they've got a lifespan of at least 6 months to a year. 6 months is about how long one of my characters stays alive anyway. So, Tress, that's Swedish for 3. This joke doesn't have legs. You want to get out a scalpel or some scissors, I suppose, and you just want to cut them out and you want to fold them up. So there's kind of a black line here, And you just want to go somewhere in the middle and just fold it over and put a book on top of it and press it real good. When you're using these live at the table, they're not just going to sit easy peasy on the screen. Well, they will a little bit if you press them down with a book or something. But you can see Namely's beautiful art there is a little bit wobbly. So what I like to do is get a... Oh, I'm blocking the mic. What I like to do is get a peg or a bulldog clip and just chuck it on there. I've got these adorable pegs. They're tiny, itty bitty. You can also use a paper clip. My brother uses paper clips and they're quite handy. Another thing you could do is if you want to keep track of whose turn it is, you can have a coloured peg or a different coloured paper clip and move that along just as a marker to say it's this person's turn, that person's turn, this thing's turn. And hey, that's kind of it. That's the whole thing. There's not a whole lot to this. So there's only a few things I want you to do. I want you to go check out this initiative tracker. It's on DriveThruRPG. Let me know what you think. I want to hear from you. And I want you to go check out Namely. She's lovely. She's got a Twitter account. She draws lots of things. And she tweets stuff. Like she tweeted a cat the other day. It was crazy. Just tweeting cats. 3, go check out your boy DM Dango. So he has a YouTube channel and a Twitter account and probably other accounts. And he reviews DM's Guild things. And he's put me onto a whole bunch of really cool adventures and really cool supplements. So give him a look. So let's start off with a quick heads up of what I've been up to and what's going to happen in the future. So I just got back from Queensland. I saw some mates that I haven't seen for 5 years. And independently, about half of my friends in Queensland have all gotten into Dungeons & Dragons. And these are nerds from all different kinds of creeds and colours and other words that mean group. And they've all come to D&D. They've all come home to roost or do whatever nerds do. And that's really nice. It's super validating. Like D&D is such a lovely hobby and it's bringing us all together. One thing that I'm really excited about is that I'm going to start a homebrew campaign. That's right, I'm getting back into it. It's been about a year, but I'm going to run an 8-session long campaign and record a bunch of videos about it. No live play stuff, just planning and prep work and ideas and failures. But I'm not going to release any of them until after the campaign is over. Kind of like a diary retrospective kind of thing. A best of my planning, I guess. So that'll be fun. I'm really excited about that. I'm going to get real weird with it. Okay, it's midnight. I want to go to bed. So I'm going to do this plugging stuff. So, okay, check me out on Twitter. I've got a Twitter account, which is at @MPerkinsDM. And every now and then I'll tweet something. I promise. This video, it's on YouTube. So please click subscribe because that subscribe button, the number next to it, that number is directly correlated to my self-esteem. So hit me with one of those. And I've got a blog. Where I write about this kind of stuff. And it's no, it's not. It's matthewperkins.net. Oh, I'm getting confused. So I've also got a subreddit, which is r/MatthewPerkins. You know, in general, if there's any kind of website or platform or whatever, just type /MatthewPerkins into the end, and you'll probably find me. Type it into your calculator, see what happens. Probably math. Okay, well, hey, thank you so much for watching. Thanks to Namely for letting me use her art as a display in this one. And thank you to DM Dango for reviewing my work. If you want to review my work, just do it and tag me in it. I'd love to see it, even if you slam it. But hey, don't slam it. Be kind, be nice, everyone share. Okay, love you dearly. Goodbye.